I think that there's certain parts of the shortfall in energy in Africa that's been well documented. There's 600 million people, 650 million people that are without electricity supply, and that actually forms about half of those in the world. So it's a bit of a uniquely African problem. So the question is, how do you solve that? And the thing is, part of the solution is not only just bringing energy to those people, it's actually bringing energy to those areas. So the transmission lines in the entire continent, outside of maybe North Africa and South Africa, are minimal. So what we have is a situation of a lot of kind of these independent grids. And there's a lot of areas that have no connection at all. So how do you solve for that? Do you build a lot of transmission lines, which is basically how most of the world has developed in the last 80 years? Or do you find another solution? There's this whole concept of leapfrogging. And this is where actually storage plays a big role, because you can build distributed systems and you can have distributed generation. But the problem is that those technologies for generation are limited. And the ability of storage, when coupled with renewable generation, you can create really high, predictable energy supply, electrical energy supply, anywhere on the continent. And it's uniquely, I think, advantageous for Africa because of all the great solar radiation that we have. So if you take PV and you take storage, you can give somebody a very high quality solution. And not just on a home basis, on an individual home basis or village, but actually on a commercial site and even industrial sites. So this is something that works in very small levels and quite large levels as well. One of the requirements for storage when you're going off grid is you actually need quite a bit of energy. It's not just about half an hour, right? Think about when the sun goes down, how many hours do you have until the sun comes back on? It's 12, 16 hours, depending on what your radiation is and what the weather's like. So you need a solution that is an energy-intensive solution. And the flow battery technology is that. Lithium ion, for example, it's very good for short duration. Flow batteries, especially vanadium flow batteries, are very good for long duration, when you're going to use the battery once a day or more, and you're going to use it for a lot of hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. So that's the unique value proposition of what we offer. And because of our integrated model, so as Bushveld, we actually mine the vanadium here in South Africa. We're in the process of establishing the manufacturing of the most expensive component of the battery, which is the vanadium electrolyte, here in South Africa as well. And then together, by developing the projects, and also eventually maybe even producing the systems here, we can have a very large African content solution for the African market.